team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick.
Invoker.
Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the D2CL. I am Toby1, bringing you our semi-final game number 3. Na'Vi going up against Alliance. I know a lot of us at home were hoping for a best of 5, a full best of 5 with amazing, intense games. Well, we got an amazing, intense game in game number 1, but Na'Vi kicks back in game number 2 with a very dominant performance over almost an archaic draft coming out from Alliance. How will game number 3 go? We're going to find out together. Let's get ourselves into the game, and I can welcome in my co-caster for today's matchup. It is Luminous Man. Game number 3. What are we expecting this time around?
Well, we've seen immediately Alliance says S4 booted off the captain's draft.
Wait, no, he's not. He's still the captain's seat.
Oh, he is. Oh, the Joyce join. I'm so used to the first slot is the captain. Okay, they still have confidence in S4. All right, good to know. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna see a count on PL. It just simply you need a lot of space, and Na'Vi just didn't give him any.
Yeah. So it was just space created by the other players. It was.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw Havor's tweet in the break, but he's like, it's always nice to feed and realize that your team will carry you.
Yes.
And then much love.
I mean, he just had that one death. It's not really a feed. But,
he'll always call us that. He was like that moment when he died on bottom lane and gave away the first blood. That's probably what's sticking in his mind for now. But Na'Vi, man, what's going to be in our mind is Invoker. So we get a Dendi Invoker for the second time tonight. Lifestealer as well. But for the first time tonight, we finally get the Visage through the pool.
Yes. Visage is one of those heroes that a lot of the North American teams are picking up. Your EGs, your Cloud9s. Team Dog's been liking it quite a bit, although I don't think you could consider Team Dog North American at all. Dream League does, but I don't. In any case, Visage is a hero that does a lot, especially if you couple them with support heroes or carry heroes like Drow Ranger or Tinker, neither of which I don't think Alliance plays much. But in that case, he's just so versatile in terms of what he brings to the table.
I'm actually trying to remember the last time I saw Alliance play a Tinker. I know Na'Vi enjoy it, like Denny's really good at it. Funnick is actually not too shabby at it either. Yeah,
but late game, I say Tinker because you could bots on the birds, but you know everybody else could get a bot late game if you want to set up those kind of immaculate ganks. But yeah, I mean, his birds are so hard to go through in terms of stunning when you're chasing. But what really matters in this game, I think, is Doom. What position is he going to be playing in? Is it going to be that LOTA Doom?
5 seconds remaining.
In this game, like unless they're going to run an aggressive tri lane, it's kind of got to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be a safe lane Doombringer because they don't have like with a puck already in the field. Admiral Bulldog, he's not like. Unless they're going to switch their lanes up, that'll be the only other thing which could make it work for him. But yeah, like this is going to be a mid-solo puck. Like this is an S4 puck no matter what happens. An Admiral Bulldog, I doubt he'd want to take the Doombringer unless he's got a safer lane to farm. And sitting on an off lane up against a Lifestealer and Dazzle, you're going to slow him down with open wounds and poison. He'll be dead on the top lane before he can even blink.
Yeah. So by process of elimination, safe lane Doom.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna need a Doom that gets big and gets farm. And I really like Doom against Invoker. A lot of times you drop the Doom on the Invoker and you're probably not gonna get the kill because he's so fast, he has teammates healing back up. But just knowing that you remove him from the fight, effectively his spells, for like 15 to 17 seconds, that's oftentimes good enough. It's essentially a 5v4. What's up, Toby? You're pondering on things.
Well, I was about to say something that I was listening to the haunted house that was behind you.
Yeah, my door just creaked open.
It's like, where's the Undying pickup now coming out from Na'Vi? Give us aggressive tri lane. Actually, I got an Undying game the other day. It was amazingly played. Would you believe, a Team Empire game?
I just don't know why we don't see more of Undying. Like he's such a especially in today's meta where it's so
it forces you to aggro try. Like in my mind, it kind of forces that. Like unless you have an aggro try with an element of push.
I mean, remember the first game where there was Enchantress and she was doing her thing in the jungle for Puppy.
Yeah.
And Kuroki was just kind of pulling and not doing much up top. Like I think it would have worked in that position. But we digress because I don't think we're gonna see a.
No, not now. We just got our third call for Na'Vi, and both support roles are already filled for Alliance. But man, these teams, like I know someone just sent them a message at the end of game number 1 and said those commentators said you never pick Centaur. But now we got it in game 2 and game 3. For Na'Vi, and with the Centaur speed, the Lifestealer being kited out with like slows. It's not there anymore. And Invoker, maybe now Dendi can actually go with Blink. Actually, he could go the same build he did beforehand because he'll have a Centaur movement speed to get him there.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he'll still max out, won't he? He'll still max out if he goes cross Wex.
When I see Dendi play Invoker and he just doesn't get that big, oh, it's that Spectre. All right. So, question mark about this is offensive tri-lane? Like, how do you fit Spectre?
This can't be offensive tri-lane with... Actually, no, they can because the Enigma pickup. With the Enigma pickup...
But the thing is, Alliance picked it before the Enigma was drafted, right? So
yeah, so... I don't know about the level of confidence of Venomancer and Visage. Like, with those two heroes, I think you've already got a lot of confidence on this offlane. Throat loader up there might be questionable, but you could also attempt... would you attempt dual lanes?
2-1-2?
Could you try it like the Doombringer Venom up on the top lane, let Visage pull for the Spectre on the bottom, and try and zone out the Centaur. But then again, you kind of probably want to have the Venomancer up against the Centaur on the offlane, because he's got a better chance of zoning him out with Poison Sting and not dying.
I don't know, man. I don't know about this draft.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Let's just wait and see what lanes they end up pulling out. Because if this just ends up being a real safe lane kind of play, and they send Visage and Venomancer down south, then I'm seeing death for Admiral Bulldog. And he, in fact, went boots first.
Prepare for battle.
So it will be, like, I'd almost want to secure that as the offlane, as an offlane Admiral Bulldog, and let Loader go bottom lane. Yeah, the supports are moving over as well. This doesn't look like an aggressive push to establish dominance over the enemy jungle. This is them safe laning it up. So we get an offlane Doombringer. I wish you'd luck, Admiral Bulldog. I'm not liking your chances.
I mean, he's got the boots. He's got the boots. And if he wants to just devour a big creep right from the get-go, from this camp to the left, like you get close to level 2 very quickly. So there's that. You
got the boots on knock, man. Like, it's Malithus stun. Like, that's one of the most probably annoying things in the world now. Even though like the DPS isn't as high, ever since the changes of the instances. Like, you always get 3 now from the very start. So you can even gank straight up at level 1. I know the stun duration is a lot more minimal, but you only need a short opening for Kuro to pounce. And then you have Lifestealer open wounds. It's just a brutal combination. By the way, speaking of brutal, look at that set over on a Vorst.
Yeah, it's the new set of the Radiant and Dire chests. I'm not sure if you had a chance of opening some of them. Nowadays, when you open a chest, it gives you an entire set of items instead of just 1 or 2 pieces. So this is one of the sets you could get. I think the Radiant set, for example, if you look at S4, that's a puck set you can get. Pretty cool stuff.
Is this like that Wispy Dragon kind of thing? It's the
illusion.
Yeah, the mischievous dragon. I love how he's also called his his whole set is actually called the $1 million Dream Coil gift from Tuxedo. So I don't think he opened a chest for this man. I'm pretty sure someone gifted him the puck set.
Man.
That's a nice easy way to get. It's like, hey, pro play, would you mind giving me a set? I know when my Joe Ranger set comes out, like Techies getting one, Vorst is getting one, and anybody else. Probably.
Envy plays.
Envy?
Yeah. He plays strong mid lately for Cloud9. Although, you know,
And MV shall have a set as well then.
their win rate with that hero is, you know, a little dubious.
Yeah, and the stats kind of look a little bit off too, mainly because of our teasy. Like you can have 15 deaths on a Dre Ranger and you still win the game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like one of the only heroes that can have a higher win rate with a negative KDR.
Who actually has a lot of... I mean, all supports have native KDR when they win, right? So I guess we're limiting just talking about carries here.
Yeah,
now, I imagine heroes like Clockwork would have a very low KDR if you win. Because your job is to die, I guess.
Well, then again, though, like when Clockwork wins, Clockwork's normally the guy that's in the front lines going, hey, you actually cannot kill me. So
That's true.
I wouldn't put Clockwork as that. In fact, he's normally the guy that triggers off play mail. You're like, damn it, I can't kill him, because if I kill him, I kill myself. Wow. I don't know if I'd say Clockwork. I would, yeah. Maybe different heroes. Visage can always die. His familiars do half of the work anyway.
That's true.
Admiral Bulldog, this is what I'm talking about where I was really concerned about it. 3 tangos is not going to be enough. Like, a set of tangos isn't enough. Kuro will zone him out with poison every single time. And Funny's being allowed to come in very, very close to this lane on the bottom. I thought RK would be a little bit more in his face, especially considering Funny didn't go a point up in return. He's going the point up in the Hope Stomp instead.
It's just so hard to harass somebody that has 5 armor. Oh, 2-Stomp's gonna hit on Ake. I don't think Ake's gonna die here. I say that though. Funnick's giving him the beatdowns.
It's a good thing there's no boots on Funnick, because if there was boots on Funnick right now, then there would be a way that he could follow up and get that kill. But RK's coming back into the lane again. But you know this Funnick's build? Like, he went for the Ring of Protection as well as the Stout Shield at the very, very start. Like, he knew he was going to take a ransom damage from RK, but he wants to push the envelope. Try and get a little bit more experience out of that bottom lane than Doombringer was able to get from the top. And in fact, Doombringer, like, he'll TP back up to the top lane now. The creep wave's there, but he went jungle for a little bit.
Yeah, he happens in the mid lane.
What?
A fascinating substance.
Okay.
Impressed.
Explain to me how that's possible. Actually, I might know how that's possible. Look at Dendi's build.
Yeah.
He never invoked anything. He doesn't have invoke.
Dude, he just want to be a wizard.
Well, first-year students can't battle trolls, man. Funnick's coming down for EGM. He's already got himself a haste rune. He's trying to battle it out. This is one very frustrating centaur that Elias has to deal with in the off lane.
Oh, the courier!
He's okay. The bottle's coming back in towards middle lane for S4. Yeah, the fact that Dendi has died so early on, that's a big start for S4 too. Especially considering he's basically dropped Dendi down a long way. Dendi's out of progression now. It's going to be really, I'm not going to say horrendous, but that early hand of mines he might have been considering to get the early level advantage probably won't even exist now.
Yeah, and unlike the first blood that Dendi gave up in game number 1 against the Bat Rider matchup, Puck, right at level 6, he has much more solo killing potential than a Bat Rider does. Especially when Dendi's seemingly going for a Quas Exhort build, who it's not exactly known for survivability. So I think if S4, for example, gets a very good rune, then he might be in big trouble.
I get a funny feeling the Poppy has asked him to change his mind, or Dendi has changed his mind himself. Because that's the only real reason why you'd go like a point Quas, Wex, and Exhort.
Yeah,
because your advantage isn't enough. So I got a funny feeling he was spotted out going for Quas Exhort, and it's just like, no. We need tornadoes. We need EMPs. We need this kind of combination, because they do kind of need that. Because then Puppy, like, if there's a good tornado with a high hang time, Puppy just comes in and then just goes boom, like easy black hole for him. And they're going to give him the money anyway, because now with the tier 1 tower being pressured out, we've got an army of conversions which are about to expand themselves as well with Creep Wave coming in. But with the catapult here as well, it really shouldn't be too difficult to bring down this tower. But then again, S4, oh wow, now I get to watch Dendi. He jumps Invis, but S4 still had mana for a Rift. He gets the kill, he started with a Dream Call, then he invoked up the Invis Ghost Walk. But now, well, then he goes down for a second time to now a DD'd up Puck.
It's been a long time since I've seen Dendi get outplayed so much. In a true 1v1, there was no ganks, there's just nothing. It's just straight up outplay by S4, and guess what? He has a double damage rune, so unless Funnick is holding Dendi's hand, Dendi is walking on thin water, thin ice.
How's Funnick supposed to hold his hand? This guy is a freaking centaur, man.
He's like, you can hold my club. That sounds... Alright, let's just move on from that discussion. But here's the thing, I think he actually might have that Wex for that Ghost Walk, just to survive. But
to do it before you even have Invoke?
What's that?
But to do it before you even have Invoke. Like, you're right, it may just be that 1 point just to sit in there and... but the fact he leveled it up before he even had the ability to invoke. So he never even had Cold Snap when S4 jumped on him before. And S4 probably thought it was the easiest kill of his life. He just sits there and all of a sudden it's like, wait, I should be taking damage. I should be stunned. I should be controlled in some way, shape or form. But the Master of Magic decided to study first and graduate later. Yeah, and here you go. In 5 seconds, Coil's backed up. So Dendi is, I don't know. So you're seeing the rotation also coming in. EGM is moving in towards the middle lane, and just behind S4, you've got RK. So they've actually got 2 support heroes moving in for Dendi, but they can't kill him off. Have we got Dust or we've got a Sentry? We only got 1 Sentry, it's over at RK. I mean, we saw in the last engagement, if you get low enough, the Waning Rift is what's going to be the killing blow for S4. So the cool thing about Dream Coils is even if you go into invisibility, the link still finds where you are. Like, you're still linked to the ball. So that's where S4 could use it to track you. But for now, it's going to be rotation coming from Puppey as well. Speaking of Puppey, I think he's going to have a tough time in this game as well. How is he going to actually reliably get off a black hole? With a haste rune? Would that do it for you? With a what? Haste rune? He just runs in with a haste rune, and now he can Maleficent over an RK. Remember, the 3 stuns, he's got a full army of conversions here, and Puppey, there's your hole! And he actually got him to the Fenno at the end. S4 to the front lines, but someone's such a damage with the Haunt in from Loda. Things are going bad for Na'Vi. Things are going really bad for Na'Vi. They got the hole, but there was no tornado or I guess meteor. I mean, Dendi could actually invoke anything, but none of his spells actually do anything at this point. Well, what's the range of that tornado? I don't know, like 2 feet in front of you, I guess. Yeah. Shortest thing you see in his life. It's also a great haunt in from Loda. Look at this guy's money. Loda, this is now the 2nd time he's played a hero, which hits its stride a little bit later. But this time, he's throwing a lot. They're going to go on Funnick. Like, dagger in, the gal's going to connect, and he just TP's out. No stun. But you notice, like, he's not going drums this time around. We're not wasting any other kind of money. This is a straight Radiance for Loda. Because if it was going to be like Handed Minus, he would have bought the damn thing already. So, yeah, I got a funny feeling that this is just going to be a straight-up Radiance build from him, which means Blink Dagger is going to be pointless for Puppey. Because it'll always be on cooldown before the fight begins. It's going to be much harder for Centaur to get that blink and use it effectively. And if Dendi, we talked about how he loves the blink on the Invoker, well, maybe this is a game to just not go for it, like last time he got Yules. I think Dendi's just having such a tough time on the mid lane. Yeah, I'm almost looking to see a rotation come out. Like, I don't know if you can really push the Life Stealer up against the puck. But it kind of feels like something needs to change here. Dendi needs space on the top lane to try and find his farm again, because he's better pick up a Hand of Midas. Like, he's sitting at the 1600 gold. This will be Midas for him. But he needs space to still find those levels. Getting a Midas is only stage 1 of the plan to come back. And when you keep letting runes like this get away, like a regeneration rune in for Puck, his life just gets harder and harder. And now on bottom lane, well, there's an infested Puppey right now, but here comes EGM, and the familiar drop down, 1 stun, 2 stun, the Sunstrike hits Loda. He does go down right now, but at the same time, S4, he's got Funnick just walking out of Dream Coil. Didn't take the stun damage from that Navos. He's at least able to pick up the Visage as well. Puppey's low on life, and Loda, he can't decide who he wants to attack. Came back into the game. There goes Koro, but Navos waiting. He was waiting for S4 to come back. Now, the familiars on the front lines, they cannot catch up to a Vorst. Ends up being a 3-off trade, but Loda, there's no point him farming just yet. Now we can do it because the buyback lockdown on his gold is now removed. It might seem like a fairly even trade, but to me that was a big Na'Vi victory, because all the meanwhile Dendi just stood in the mid lane and pressured that tower. He wasn't forced to TP to save his team, and he didn't die for a TP like S4 did. Meanwhile, it was Savos at TP, but he's got a couple of kills, and his Midas has been running as well, so I think that was a fairly big momentum swing for Na'Vi, who needed that. Savos is going to rage and just get the hell out of Dodge. Yeah, they can't control him. Also to point out too, when Loda bought back, he bought drums, and bought basically half of his phase boots.
And there's no Radiance.
Yeah, this may be even a bigger win for Na'Vi with that fight in the bottom lane. The fact that they've had enough pressure onto Loda, they had that now. Open wounds, Malivus done, Funnick, the Sunstrike's coming back in, and then your Black Hole Admiral Bulldog, he TP's into the middle of the Vortex, and then the Dream Coil, huge in from S4, holding all of Na'Vi there. A Force will go down, Kuro taking the stun, Puppey as well. It's a double kill for RK, Soul Assumption up to Kuro, all in 1 second time, and then Kuro will be pushing up the Daisy with the rest of his team. Advantage swings.
I mean, it's a 4-for-2 trade, but it's also a 4-for-2 carry, especially a carry that has just fought back.
Yeah.
And of course, Dendi hasn't joined the fight. As bad as it looks for Na'Vi, I think it's okay.
It's S4. It's S4 getting the kills. Like this is a 5-1 puck. It's getting to a point right now where S4 won't care in the mid game about anything Na'Vi will have. If he wants to, he may even consider going in for a Dagon kind of build, so Kuro has no time to react with a shallow grave. Kill off the Enigma before he can do anything. Keep these heroes down and buy space for Loda, because in the later portion of this game, split push victory will still go the way of Alliance. Because they've got Familiars and they've got a Spectre that can just haunt into the engagement.
Yeah, not only that, I think Admiral Bulldog has been very silent and slowly catching up. If you look at his inventory, he's going for a 4-staff. Have you ever seen a 4-staff, Doom? Because I have not, but I think in this particular game, where the enemy team is relying on things like Stampede Slow, relying on things like Open Wounds and Malefice, a single 4-staff just says, you're not getting a kill on this guy. So, it's pretty decent.
Survive it till the bitter end. And would you believe it, it solves the mana pool problem.
Hey!
There's that Blink Dagger. 11-minute Blink Dagger is now up on S4. I think he's calling out for a smoke. You notice RK's money too. He can almost afford his own. I say afford his own. He can also build into either Arcane Boots, Magic Wand, or he could look to a 4-staff as well. So there's a lot of money in these supports. We talk about like the supports stay alive through, but like these supports from Alliance, they're greedy supports. Always have been, always will be. And with EGM, like, what is he doing? Is this an O club to get him through into the, like, just some life points for now, and then into an Aghanim Scepter? Because he definitely can't be a BKB, and there's no reason for a Halberd.
I think he just wanted an Aghanim. Generally, you start with a point booster, but, you know, if you just buy if you're closer to the shop, then you just might as well pick up the Ogre Club. Look, maybe he bought it before he died or something like that. Who knows? Na'Vi
just had the best feeling in the world, which was not to go in then. Everyone went missing. 4 heroes smoked up from Alliance underneath the Sentry Ward. Well, actually, do they? No, they don't. Their vision didn't see it. That's a dire Observer Ward up on the high ground. But they'll move into the jungle, and they're going to find Dendi. And this is another bigger kill. And Dendi 4-staff in to make sure the Doom is able to connect before he can invoke out. But look at the movement speed. They use the Centaur ulti, but then S4, they're at the perfect time for the Dream Call. Loda also haunted himself in for this one, and then he got himself stuck in the tree line.
He's got Crawling Blade.
Yeah, but he's got another tree he's got to cut through before he can get out of here. And Familiar's Puppey, he's on his way in, and now Loda cuts his way out. He's got Frost Armor, so that's going to help him out in the Gale. Keeps Funnick away, so RK buying himself some space. Puppey doesn't have hold yet. It's 4 seconds on cooldown, so Soul Assumption damage, 4-staff up, and they're looking. Puppey may decide to turn on this one because there's 2 heroes here, and then he gets silenced up. The heal, Kuro! In with the Shadow Wave with the last point, as well as the Shallow Grave, and Puppey just TPs himself out to safety. Under the cover fire, Kuro, the man with the saves.
Even though that was the 1-for-0, because they killed Dendi, basically Na'Vi's most important hero in my opinion right now, that was a big win. And Dendi teleports back in the mid lane. He's got the Midas, he's got to use it. He's also going for what it believes to be a Necrobook.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah. I mean, as nice as Necrobook is, do you feel like that's the item he needs? Or do you think he needs more mobility type items, such as Jewel Scepter, or maybe a Blink Dagger that he's so known for?
I think we'll wait for watch S4 die. Oh, he phase shifted and evaded the stun. And now, well, he just orbs himself away out to safety. Don't push your luck there too much, S4. Man, I don't think he needs his maneuverability. I kind of would have... I'm thinking he still wants to try and shut down and control the puck as well as the Doombringer. And the way he thinks he can do that is through like either mana burn and then have an element of push to come in later.
Okay.
But I'm not feeling the magic for it later, because like you could just see that Doombringer go into a BKB and the item will just start to become a little bit more useless. Because he's not going to be on a split push. Like it was going to do Forge Spirits and level 3 Necro units down the lane. But it'll end up just being more food than anything else. Yeah, I'm also not 100% sure about the item choice, but then again we have 4 stuff on Doombringer.
Tower is under attack.
Roshan's being done. Really good scouting coming out here from EGM. Already scouting out the fact that Roshan is underway. Pavosa comes to the front lines, and now we've got Na'Vi having to deal with Familiars up on the hill, as well as Na'Vi coming in from the sides. And S1 actually doesn't care. Like, he hasn't joined the fight. The second he can Blink Dagger and orb himself across when the time is right. But he's using the DD to do as much damage as possible. Now they're going for the Haunt. Now, which one is he reality to? And he went actually for Kuro in the middle lane. So we'll dagger up on this one. Centrally has gone Arcade. Luckily for him, the Sunstrike's off target. So he'll back himself up and away from the forward spirits. Dazzle, obviously Kuro being the one initiated on by Loda, was the one to and Roshan sitting at 3,000 life points here. Now the question is, does Alliance get greedy and try and finish the job that Na'Vi started?
Judging from game 1, that seems to be a bad choice if you remember what happened there, because they tanked the Roshan so low that the rest of Na'Vi just respawned. But you gotta keep in mind that Haunt is down for Alliance, but so is Stampede. It seems like Stampede just traded for a Haunt. When the Haunt came out, everybody just ran from Na'Vi. This tier 1 tower has to be protected. Oh, comes up. I didn't even see that.
He was waiting for it. He was waiting for it. I knew it had to come at some point. With the push coming into middle lane, Venomancer, he was just wandering up the river through this way. And Dendi just waited it out. He just waited it out and got the Sunstrike perfectly. They're still going to lose the mid-tier 1 tower now. Attempted denial, and that may cost him. The Dream calls on 2. Phase shift into the double silence. Then the weave to also come, but, well, it's already a double kill going the way of EGM. Greedy support is greedy. He's now sitting at 4-1-6, and that's an opening to go in for Roshan for Alliance.
Yeah, Dendi's trying to hold and distract by himself. Meanwhile, you can see that the rest of the frontliners are just rotating back into the Roshan pit.
Oh, Sunstrike.
Big Sunstrike just dropping everybody low. Roshan doing a little bit of bashing. You can see that Loda on the back lines, they know he's very low in terms of health. Where is the Stampede into the pit?
Almost coming in.
Here he goes. Stampede's going to go in, but the Roshan has dropped below. He wants to take everybody down. Almost is dropping fast. He rages.
EGM!
No range. He's also dead, and the rest of Na'Vi just retreats.
Dude, they went straight in there thinking, I want the cause, I want the cause. But EGM just stood his ground in the middle of the fight. The Familiars went to town. He was solo assumptioning down to, even did a nice little resummon in the middle of that engagement to make sure he had him twice over again. Na'Vi almost walked into their death. They didn't get Roshan, they didn't get the Aegis Immortal. Sure, they got the Doombringer and triggered off the Aegis, but what did you really get in return? Loda, he's alive and sitting with 2.5k gold, so maybe we do see our Radiance after all, just with Phase Boots drums to start it.
Yeah.
And then the mech is about to be finished for Admiral Bulldog.
It wasn't a good start for him because he has to die and buy back, but since then it's been very fortuitous in terms of how the fight's been going. I think what the two people that charged in was expecting was at least a weave from Dazzle. But we gotta remember, Kuroki was, I think, dead before then, and he was just teleporting back, so
he got ganked in mid. Actually, no, because that should have been over by enough time. Like, Kuro had enough time to get himself back out again.
Well, he definitely was not in position for a grave, because that thing has, like, no cast range, so...
Well, right now, man, Alliance are looking a lot better in this game. For the first time, I'm actually going to bring up the graphs too. And you can see the advantage which was just gained from that. Almost 5,000 gold was earned from just that last Roshan fight. Everything was pretty even until that. The experience advantage actually shot up to about 7k in favor of Alliance. Before that, they were still hovering around 2.5k, which is understandable when you're still running a Doombringer. And Enigma's jungle hadn't really been that effective. Like, Enigma spent more time walking around than inside of his own jungle.
Yeah, it's also very tough for him to actually do anything effective. His inventory doesn't have a mech. His inventory doesn't have a BKB, so he's very much so controlled by what the puck is doing to him. And right now, Alliance has been doing an excellent job silencing him, making sure that he's bursted down by the Visage. So Puppy, aside from that one black hole in the mid lane, he hasn't actually done anything effective for his team. And meanwhile, by comparison, if you look at Admiral Bulldog, like he's got everything for the team. He's got 4 staff, he's got a mech. And just him charging in with Max Scourger, you can't focus him because you're not going to kill him. But if you don't focus him...
Top lane, they're going to go on low. Sunstrike's going to get the kill on this one.
And there's the black hole.
Yeah, being used up on top lane. But they used the Centaur ulti to initiate. That was the other major thing that was missing before. You called it out when the Roshan fight was happening. But it was just the fact that Like the center ulti was used, Puppy couldn't get in range. And the second he tried to, he'll get called up. The amount of times that S4 has controlled him is unbelievable, really. Like, he's come in and gone for the silence at the perfect moments. Like, Dreamcall first comes in, then he gets like the double, so even his supports can't help him out. And the fact that EGM, like this is pre-20 minutes, he'll resummon his familiars in a moment, but he has Aghanim Scepter familiars now. Like this is what I'm talking about when Visage is standing in the middle of the fights, getting kill after kill after kill. Na'Vi, like normally, like we worry about the cores, but worrying about the supports now is a bigger problem. Like even Arcade, he's going to spare 1k gold sitting on this Venomancer. The gold's not at the mid tower at the moment. The Force Spirits are coming in here to try and stop him from getting his tower. And well, actually, he got it. They mistimed the denial.
Big play for Dendi, I suppose. A very lucky play for him. In any case, he's going to have a Necro 3 completely finished. I mean, I just feel like it's one of those very weak items in the sense that Navi's not the one that's actually trying to push right now. So this Necro 3 is mostly used for teamfight control. Yeah. But it's not really an excellent item for that.
No, because you think like either Yule Scepter or building into a side device would have been like your higher teamfight controllers. I suppose though, like how would you find a side device when you start your initiation out on the Spectre? So that's when the Necro book can kind of kick in another way. Like you got your bonus strength and intelligence, and that may be what he needs to survive when the initial jump in happens from Alliance.
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like Alliance just have this particular draft that makes you think, oh, I need this item to counter this one hero, but I get countered by the other hero. For example, BKB would be nice against Puck, Veno, but Doom says I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get Necrobook, then, you know, one of these heroes, like, is decent against Spectre, but then that means Puck is going to get you, and Doom's going to get you. So it's a tough situation for Dendi to be in, but two teams are running into each other right now. Doyle's going to come in, the Hawk's going to be there as well. Hey, grab two, Puck gets doomed up immediately. They're going to try to break down S4, Suntrack's going to hit. S4's dropping low. He shifted it, but he's still alive. How is S4 still alive?
He jumps up!
Back in the fight.
It's beautiful. He jumped up north. He followed the orb up and through, early dodging the first turn in, and now they turn around again. Vods comes in. Poppy does that. He doesn't have Black Hole. He got doomed up. They don't care. Centaur blinks and he gets a split out, and then Vods in the middle of the Midnight Pulse is able to help bring down Loader, but Admiral Bulldog's not done just yet. Neither is EGM, but then again, Vods with the open wounds, he's finding himself a lot of life points back in Funnick. Double stun out, then going for the double edge, but EGM, he's like, well, you drop yourself down low in life, and you give me charges. Tools to win over a Centaur have been granted the way of this Visage. He's 8-1-7, man. Na'Vi's focusing the wrong hero. The fact that Puppy was able to soak up the Doom as well, like that's a nice thing for him, but it's not buying him much.
The Doom was actually a pretty big deal because during that entire fight, they didn't have a mech, or at least at the beginning of the fight where they really needed a mech to protect their heroes. But S4 was just a magician. He's the real magician in this game, not Dendi, because I just lost track of. I was just looking at him and casting what he's doing, and I was like, where did he go? He phased and he orbed and he was just killing everybody.
It was beautiful. Like, he started off here in the tree line, and when the Sunstrike came in, he was Coulson it up. He looked like a goner because the Sunstrike hit. The Coulson controlled him for a very long time, and all that was really required was for Funnick to land that hoof stomp. If he got that hoof stomp, fight would be completely different. But what he did was he orbed up. And when he orbed up, like he phase shifted first and orbed up, and he went through Koro. Koro was sitting inside a shallow grave right here, and then he just jumped up into this tree line. So he sat for the rest of the time just attacking down or attacking down. That's what he did. He was elusive and he soaked up so much of Na'Vi's initiation. He took almost every ability of Dendi at the start of that fight.
What I learned in this game is when you're in trouble as a Puck, orb into the enemy team, and magical stuff happens.
Well, it's funny though, because Na'Vi got blocked off.
Yeah.
Like they found most of their team on the other side of that line. And that kind of left Kuro stranded up here. You had one other hero stranded up here, and then they try to fight from this angle, which they didn't really have the best like field of vision at all, because they actually didn't see where S4 was during that fight. Because he was on the other side of one tree, and I didn't think there was another position. I may be wrong on this, but it didn't look like there was a position of any Na'Vi creep or hero or unit that gave the vision.
Well, in any case, after that particular fight, Alliance, I mean, it was one of those fights where they traded a lot of kills, but at the end they didn't actually get any objective. Whoa.
surprised he didn't start for the silence. I think he was expecting Admiral Ball to be right behind him. Funnick, what are you doing, man? TP's in, he'll take the soul assumption damage, and it's 4. Mr. Haystrom was considering running after that, but they secured the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane at least. But they really wanted that kill on Lifesteal, who... Possible critical time for him to stay alive, just finished up a full assault cuirass.
Yeah, I think what S4 was looking to do is blink in and start off with Waning Rift, and then allow the Doom to come in. But unfortunately, I think his blink was a little bit too short, so it happened what it happened. But a lot of spells are down for Alliance. Maybe that means Roshan, if it's spawning very soon, that there is a chance that Na'Vi could take it. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
Well, they got another minute. Just give them time. While we take that minute, let's go over our chat trivia again for our next game. Name the only 4 heroes to complete Assault Cuirass more than 200 times in Pro Dota 2 matches since mid-2012. They're big AC heroes.
I could name one. We're looking at it right now.
Which one are you looking at? Are you actually thinking Lifestealer for Assault Cuirass?
Yeah. I mean, well, actually...
Would it be enough time? Because the Lifestealer, like, if we go back to, like, mid or so last year, like, it was Armlet, it was all of these other things. We never really saw the AC until later in the game.
Right. And games ended pretty... Oh, no, it's Lone Druid.
Oh, yeah, Lone Druid.
For sure.
Lone Druid #1. 100% #1. Who else would be in that mix? Would we actually say in the age of the Bristleback? Did he...
I don't think he's played that many games.
It's still since mid last year. Which is why in the back of my mind I'm considering that. Meanwhile, we should probably focus on the mid tower. You can ponder that mystery. I'm also loving to... This one's talking about with the split push. Radiance is fully up on Loader. I don't think we actually talked about that yet. But he's just split pushing out top lane. Has phase boost drum, so it's only 1k life points, 1.1k life points, almost 1.2. But that's not really a huge amount. But with having that Radiance up and running, it's going to cause chaos for Na'Vi. And they're looking to initiate it and kill off before the chaos begins. That's why we have the infested Lifestealer inside the Centaur.
Yeah, I think with Na'Vi's kind of great teamwork and focus fire, because Spectre is so low HP, they could actually still find the right one and focus him and kill him quickly. But once, like, let's say a Vitality booster comes out on Loda, or maybe a Heart comes out on Loda, then the game just really becomes much more difficult.
See,
so
I would still question, though, the fact if they can get the initiation off. Because we've got a Scythe Device over on Puck. And look at EGM. We may be seeing a second AC coming up. We saw one from Na'Vi, but I think EGM in this game may have, in fact, build up into the Assault Cuirass.
maybe a Shiva would be good, just to not stack things up. But look at Funnick. He's on the back line. The Trojan horse. With the Lifestealer inside.
He can hope, man. With an Invis, he may have an opening for it. The Familiars just dropped down too, so those stuns won't be available.
The Creeps finds the Centaur because of this random sentry.
At least he can look inside the Roche pit and see he's up, but the Venomancer War Squad, that one out. So, like, Alliance, in this point, they can either rotate up towards the tier 2 tower in the top lane. Considering there's no kills, I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. RK?
That's the most obvious.
Shh! They don't know! Lone Druid, Alchemist, Lifestealer, DK. So at least, yeah, you got two of them, man.
Oh. DK was played a lot, yeah. Kind of forgot about that here.
We kind of forget about Alchemist too. Ever since the nerf, he just doesn't flag in the memory anymore. Like the only team which could happen is do we say CIS from China?
Yeah.
With that Darkseer Alchemist combo?
Yeah.
Well, there goes Roshan though. So Alliance actually not getting the better trade-off in this in my mind. Like tier 2 tower for giving over an Aegis the Immortal into a Lifestealer's hands. Oh.
Yeah, simply for the reason that I don't think Na'Vi could have defended that tier 2 even if all 5 heroes were there.
Yeah.
So that tower was already dead.
It also bought time too, like Dendi just finished his BKB again, like the second game in a row.
I think this game is much more warranted when that puck is just jumping on top of you. Like, you just need to survive and need to get yourself off your spell.
Even Funnick, this man's building into a pipe for the team.
Yeah.
He just picked up his Hood of Defiance. This is a rather difficult to kill off Centaur. And that's probably where the downside of Alliance does really kick in. Like, where is their physical DPS really coming from? Right now, most of the DPS that I've been watching during these fights is actually coming out from EGM of all players. Like, the controls come out from the rest, so S4's got some good burst damage out. But like, Admiral Bulldog's not walking around with Alpha Wolf. In fact, he's just giving the swiftness aura to everybody on the map. Oh,
I think Loda is going to help out with that department.
Oh, jump in. They already got the Hex on Dendi. Jump in, Horn, and Horn stopped with a blink. Control timing is perfect, and now the stomp from Funnick is also out of position. That's a quick kill on Dendi, and this may in fact be top racks.
Puppy doesn't have a teleport scroll. He's just walking back in the fight. He's going to look for a big black hole in the back, and it's going to be Funnick trying to initiate, but the birds are tearing him apart. The Grave's going to come through, but Both runs, and he gets doomed.
Resummon.
Nothing, and he's going to just get bursted down. Funnick's still alive. Why is he still alive? Okay, he's dead.
It was Koro. It was Koro keeping alive, and Puppy just walked in the middle of the engagement and just threw away YOLO. EGM just got himself another set of kills. This is 11-1-7 now on the Visage. You can afford full Shiva's guard. Jump in! This is GG. This is. I don't want to call it 30 minutes into the game already, but Na'Vi only have Alliance Killer alive. Alliance have everybody up, and they can claim a double ranking right now. And yeah, Puppy calls it, man. This game was good. This game was golden, but this game belongs to Alliance.
What went wrong this game? It felt like Na'Vi couldn't do anything.
The Invoker was shut down. Lifesteal never got a combination to jump in, really. Like, well, the only successful, like, you normally look for heroes who have jump in, like Puck, Storm Spears, things like this, to make